My fiance left me for the one that got away, but now he wants me back. My fiance and I had been together 3 years. He was my first boyfriend. We laughed, cried, and were overall very happy together. Our families had mixed really well. Our moms became close friends really fast. He was my best friend, my confidant, my support, my comfort. I looked at him and could see our future together. I'm even crying remembering one time we took a blanket, went outside, and looked up at the stars like in some book. I never thought something like this could happen to me. The man I loved could have never done anything like that to me. It all started about 2 months ago. His high school sweetheart, who he was with for 7 years, moved back to our country and wanted to catch up with Mark. He told me they broke up because they were unable to sustain a long-distance relationship when she left to pursue her postgraduate studies. They hadn't been in contact for 5 years. She sent him an email, he showed it to me and it was completely platonic. She was just curious about what he had become. He asked me if he could meet her and I said yes. I trusted him. So he went, but when he came back he was a bit withdrawn. He is usually really chatty, but he was dismissive when I asked him how it went. I let it go. However, the following weeks he was often on his phone. He picked random fights with me and didn't look me in the eyes when we had intimacy, didn't whisper loving words either. I'm really touchy, and in our 3 years together he had never once recoiled or refused my embrace, but he started doing it. I usually hug him like a koala when he comes back home from work, but he only let me do it twice. It was such a sudden change. I asked him what was wrong, but he just said he wasn't feeling too good nowadays. On a Saturday I went to visit his grandma as we usually knit together, and I was gone the whole day. I feel really close to her because she adopted me easily and reminds me of my own, who died when I was in high school. When I came back I found him packing his stuff. My whole world fell apart. He was being so cowardly. He told me he was sorry for making me suffer like this, but sometimes life gives you a second chance and you have to recognize it for what it is. That he loved me, but when he met his ex, he realized the feelings weren't the same. He said he regretted letting go of her. That he had found himself again. That it had been a difficult choice for him, but he had to take this chance. His ex wanted him back. She had realized what she had lost and risked losing for good when he told her he was getting married. He supposedly refused her at first, but as time passed, and they talked together, his old feelings came back. He hoped I would forgive him one day and understand. I cried as he was talking. It sounds stupid, but it was as if it was a stranger in front of me. He said he would still pay rent and part of the bills until our lease was up and I could find another place. He makes a lot more than me and I wouldn't be able to afford living in our apartment on my own. I begged him not to make this mistake, that he was being fooled by an idealized memory of their past together, that he was having cold feet. But he was like a wall, he didn't even look at me. At about 10 p.m. there was a truck outside with one of his friends waiting for him. He apparently came to help him move. I wasn't really close with that particular friend, but he did seem sorry for me. Mark hugged me goodbye and left. I hadn't cried that hard in years. I slept in our spare room not to feel the emptiness of our room with his things gone. I sank to the deepest pathetic depths and tried to call him, but it went to voicemail. I had no idea where he went, but assumed he was now living with his ex after 3 weeks of talking again. How ridiculous. I'm really lucky to have supportive friends and family. My best friend even moved in for 5 days. My parents wanted me back home with them, but I wasn't ready to leave. Mark is a bit messy and I love everything clean, so it felt weird having everything perfectly neat. I missed his messiness. It was as if he was the one making our house a home. He used to joke about me wanting the house to look like it was on sale or in a catalog. Not waking up to make breakfast, not seeing him read lying on the sofa while I studied felt weird. Not buying his favorite snack or powdered proteins when doing groceries felt weird. I felt really lost at first. It was like grieving. Usually when people break up, the relationship goes south, but to me it came out of nowhere. I still loved him, I was still planning the wedding and working on my side to build our future together. It was all gone in a day. I wish I had been smarter and refused to meet his one that got away. His family was dumbfounded. I still went to see his grandma and she told me he was a fool, that he would come back crawling to me. She was the first person who managed to make me laugh. Maybe she'll be right.